Welcome to Teutschenthal, Germany, for our CBS Sports Network coverage of the 67th running of the Monster Energy FIM Motocross of Nations. Hi, I'm Jeff Amick, joined by former team manager of Team USA, Paul Lindsay. And speaking of Team USA, this year's team manager is once again Roger DeCoster, has won as a team manager, has won as a rider. His three-rider team is led by Ryan Dungey in the MX1 division, Eli Tomac on the 250 MX2 division. Justin Barsha will be the entry in the open class. With this year's race being comprised of a three-rider team, Paul, please give us the breakdown of the format.
Thanks, Jeff. I'm pumped to be here. It's the pinnacle of all motocross races. The big one, the Motocross of Nations. Basically, this is our Olympics of motocross. 3 riders each team, 40 teams represented here. There's going to be 3 motos, 30 minutes plus 2 lap each moto. Each rider is going to race 2 motos like in traditional motocross. A total of 6 scores. Each team is going to drop their worst score. We'll get into that later, how they do the final scoring. It's a little bit complicated here, but we'll help you through it. The team with the lowest 5 scores ultimately is going to win the Chamberlain Cup, Jeff, and be crowned the 2013 Motocross of Nations champion. Last year, Germany knocked off the U.S. after a 7-year win streak for the U.S. They come in, that was their first Motocross of Nations victory, and then they get to come defend it here on home turf with Ken Roxson leading the way.
Quite the atmosphere here for Team Germany. You know that they're dedicated to taking another win, making it 2 in a row here on their home soil. Just quite a lot of energy here in Teutschenthal, Germany at this facility. So that's the format. We're also take a look here at the track map. Going to be a challenging track. It's really rough, lots of ruts on the track. It's going to be challenging for all 3 motos.
And they haven't touched it up at all. They've left the braking bumps, the ruts, everything from yesterday through today. Just put a little bit of water down. It's a fantastic track.
And look at the crowd here. They have came out. There's flags from every country. People come from all around the world to support this event. Well, that's the format of the race. You get a look at the crowd, the track. Let's take a look at what the track is like, courtesy of our onboard camera. We're going to have 4 riders today with the onboard. Ken Roxson, of course, Team Germany. He'll be on bike number 2. He's leading the way. Antonio Cairoi, he's the Italian rider. Bike number 13, reigning World Motocross champion. Clement Dessau from Belgium, he'll be on bike number 6. And France has an entry here with Gauthier Paulin on bike number 16. For our CBS Sports Network coverage of the 2013 Motocross of Nations, we're just finishing up our onboard lap here with Ken Roxson, Cairoi, Dessau, and Paulin. And you can see the riders are in the gate, and this is the lineup. Remember, this is the only motorsport that has each nation competing against each other every year. The first Motocross of Nations was in 1947. Great Britain was your first winner, but in 67 events, Team USA is now on top with 22 wins, Great Britain 16. Once, like we mentioned, Germany got their very first win last year in Lommel, Belgium. Who are the favorites here today, Paul?
Well, obviously, you mentioned some of the heavy hitters. Of course, USA always a favorite to win with 22. We just saw the graphic on the screen. They're hoping to make it 23 here in Teutschenthal, Germany. And we've got a great lineup, as you mentioned, Jeff. We've got, obviously, Ryan Dungey, Justin Barsha, Eli Tomac, who I believe is going to be the key. It's always the MX2 rider, especially as we see here on the gate for this first race of 3 MX1 and MX2 riders. For the fans at home back in North America that don't know, that's going to be 450 riders against 250 riders. Our guy, Eli Tomac, I didn't get a chance to see what gate pick he got there. Always strategy coming in for Roger DeCoster on that. And you're going to have 250s versus 450s, so it's always critical when you've only got 1 throwaway score. That 250 rider in the MX2 class has to pull his weight because we're going to have to use one of his scores no matter what.
Yeah, and in qualifying, it seemed like all of the starts were coming from the riders inside, which is the right of our screen here. So you got to think that Australia, Team USA qualified first and second. Belgium was just behind them, that they're going to start way to the inside. Right, so if you've got that first pick and the 21st pick combined, you're looking pretty good. Now, if you're one of the teams like Latvia that just sneaked in today by winning the B final, their second rider is going to be lined up way on the outside.
Yeah, their first one, as we joked about earlier. Congratulations. The good news is you won the B final. The bad news is you won the B final. Now you got to go do 3 more motos, 30 plus 2.
Taking a look at some of the pre-race festivities here going on. Riders getting in their mental state. Let's have the national anthem of Germany.
entry here, Jeff, as you can see, the ambiance, as we talked about yesterday, always an epic event. The Motocross of Nations, I've got goosebumps listening to this German national anthem. It is as good as it gets. We're about ready to go racing. After all the hype, it is time to go. 3 motos, 30+2. You hear the air horns, the
Here comes the
chainsaws.
excitement.
Oh yeah, you've seen guys going around, and the fans, these fans here are incredible, always at this race with chainsaws and everything. And we see the starting grid there, Jeff. This is going to be your MX1 class and your MX2 class combined. The top 20 qualifying countries each have a rider on the track, a 450 and a 250 rider. For us, it's Dungey and Eli Tomac getting ready to take the track for 30+2.
And after Australia's qualifying effort yesterday, you just got to wonder if this is the team that can finally win Australia, their very first Motocross of Nations. They have the confidence. They are ready for this race. You've seen the number 2 there, reigning champion Ken Roxon riding for Germany.
Here we go, 15-second card is up. The gate is getting ready to drop. Australia with the upset win yesterday, as you mentioned. They took advantage of that first gate pick from the lottery system. Today, they go to the gate first again by virtue of winning the qualifying heats yesterday with a 1-2, the surprise ride by Dean Ferris on the MX2.
Here we
class.
go.
Here we go. That looks like
through the first turn, everyone's pretty clean through there. No riders down. They're going to come up over the first timing and scoring loop. Top of the hill, 30 minutes plus 2 laps.
Look at
Dean
Roxson
Ferris
right
from Australia on the 250, the smaller displacement, steals the whole shot. Guyard, number 55, followed by Ken Roxon, number 2 in your top 3.
And then Rui Gonçalves from Portugal and Tommy Searle rounding out your top 5 from the UK. And amazing, just like we talked about, Jeff, taking advantage of the inside gate with the 250 riders in the MX2, 2 of the top 3 on 250s.
And the American riders, Ryan Dungey, he'll be on bike number 7. He sets 13th. Eli Tomac on the 250F. Oh, riders are moving around all kinds of positions. Tomac has went back to 19th. Dungey up to 11th.
And Brett
as you come
Metcalf
through this section here, Dean Ferris still your leader. Guyard, Roxon, Searles moved up to 4th.
Sorry, Jeff, I was going to say Brett Metcalf mired back in 17th place as well. A tough break for him after getting a whole shot and a dominating win in a 20+2 qualifier yesterday over Ryan Dungey straight up. And we saw Dean Ferris, this man right here, making his rookie debut at the Motocross of Nation. Got his first GP win just a few weeks ago, and a little bobble by Ferris
almost
right
goes
there.
Down. Well, Ferris has been surprising all weekend in the qualifying practice for the MX2. Ferris goes out and sets the fastest lap time of anyone. 450s, 250s, it didn't matter. This kid is really fired up. And now you come through the main section here. The German fans, they have been blowing horns, flags waving for Ken Roxon the whole time we've been here.
A lot of great racing action left, Jeff. This is amazing to have 2 250s in the MX2 class in the top 3. We're just getting started here.
28 minutes plus 2 laps. Still to go here in race number 1, the MX1 and MX2 divisions. Stay with us for more Motocross of Nations on the CBS Sports Network. We are into race 1 for the 67th running of the Monster Energy FIM Motocross of Nations. As you see on the bottom of your screen, Dean Ferris from Australia is still leading. Guyard is 2nd and Ken Roxon 3rd.
And Jeff, I hate to say I told you so, but we talked about this, the 250s, yanking starts from the inside. That's adrenaline. Talk about it. You've been in this position, Jeff, 6-time team member for Team USA. You've ridden the 125. You've had the inside gate. These guys are on 250s, as you pointed out, maybe not giving up quite as much as the 125s did back in the day, but Dean Ferris, Ken Roxon with that hometown adrenaline, going to the front against 450s. That's simply amazing, but we knew it could happen.
Yeah, but doesn't it seem, Paul, that this track is well suited for that smaller displacement of the 250F? Plus, pre-race, all of our conversations have been about what's the key rider, what's the key classification division going to be to win this Motocross of Nations. We both agreed that it came down to the MX2 class with the younger riders, and certainly Dean Ferris out front, and it looks like Van Hoorbeek is the next MX2
Belgian
rider.
MX2, that's right.
Yeah.
So now we've got 3 of 5, with Tommy Searle and Guyard up there. The bad news is, of course, Ryan Dungey and Eli Tomac all the way back in 16th and 17th. That is not a good start for the Americans, but don't panic just yet, folks at home. This is a long moto, long races. These guys know what they're doing, and they're certainly capable of getting up there. We don't necessarily need to win motos. We just need to be consistent. So
yeah,
there's Tony Cairoi, your 7-time world champ, making his way through the field at the moment, and he is up to 8th place. Looks like he's working on Lingard there.
I believe he's made some more passes there. That looks like Van Hoorbeek 5th, so that should put Cairoi. Shows him an 8th on our timing and scoring, but now he's moved all the way up to 6th, trying to get Team Italy into the top 5. Taking a look at Dean Ferris off the side of the track, and that's going to give up the lead.
Same place the Swiss rider did it earlier. That is the same jump in the B final where we saw a near catastrophe by the Swiss rider. There you go.
Valentin Gouillard.
Unbelievable.
From Switzerland out with the lead. That's going to allow Ken Roxson of Team Germany up to 2nd place. And if Roxson takes the lead in this, you know the fans are going to go crazy.
The house is going to come down if Roxson gets the lead. You can hear him now already, and I know Ken Roxson wants to win the team event, but he also wants to win a moto outright. It's been a long time. Only a few guys have done that. Obviously, Villopoto did it at Butts Creek. The historic Johnny O'Mara in '86 McGraw. We've had Antonio Cairoi did it in England one year. It's a big, big deal to win a moto in the MX2 class.
Well, and this is an outstanding ride here for Gouillard from Switzerland.
He rode solid yesterday.
The team qualified 14th, and now he's out front leading race 1 here at the Motocross of Nations. Right there you see the British rider, Tommy Searle, number 22, goes by on the Kawasaki. He is followed by still Van Hoorbeek in 5th, riding for Belgium.
To give you an idea, Ryan Dungey in the morning practice warm-up this morning ran a 1:45.3. Given it's just a morning warm-up practice. Gouillard, who we don't know much about from Switzerland, turned a 1:44. He qualified 5th fastest, so he is the real deal. Had a great ride in qualifier yesterday, and he's making it happen here today. Unbelievable.
Well, Ken Roxson, former MX2 motocross champion on the 250. Certainly growing up not far from here, he would have turned plenty of laps on this track. Fastest rider on the track at the moment, though, with a 1:43.2 is the Italian Antonio Cairoi. He's currently setting in 6th.
And Gouillard, apparently the 2013 European 250 champion, so a young up-and-comer riding in the MX1 class for his country. So many countries we see do that. They put guys up to the 450 class that are maybe used to riding the smaller bike. In many cases, like in Van Hoorbeek's case, down to a 250 in the MX2. He was riding the MX1 class for the first time this year. We see a lot of rider movement. Luckily, in the U.S., we've got plenty of riders to choose from in all the categories. That's what's made our our team so successful over the years. 22 wins in the history of the event, by far the most. Great Britain actually second with 16, and then Belgium got a rider down.
Borbashev.
Oh, he had a tough break yesterday with a mechanical failure, and barely he had to rely on his teammates. Tonkov in the 250 class, MX2 had a great ride. Tough break for Borbashev, who is definitely one of the front runners in MX1 GPs over here.
And his teammate Tonkov is shown on timing and scoring in 17th. So definitely a bit of a disadvantage here to start this race 1 of the 3-race format here at the Motocross of Nations. But look at the race here.
Dungey up to 11th now, and Tomac 15th, by the way, just slowly making their way through. Lots of time to go as these guys still getting away. I'm still so impressed with Gouillard and his ride. And then another rider down there, Jeff, that's a 53. That's going to be
Stefan Olsen.
Stefan Olsen, sorry about that. And we have 20 teams, as we mentioned here. Stefan Olsen, is he a lap down there? I'm trying to remember. Right now on the Denmark team, sorry. So back out front, Gouillard still holding off the pressure from Ken Roxson as they put another lap in the books across the finish line. Right now, your virtual timing scoring has Italy out front with Australia and then Switzerland due to Gouillard leading the way. Obviously, this is very preliminary team results as we look at it.
22 minutes plus 2 laps left in this race. And currently, Team USA actually has just dropped from 7th back to 8th with their combined score 11 and 15. So Team USA has some work to do, and here goes Ken Roxson, takes the lead here in race 1. Teutschenthal, Germany. Oh, and Gouillard makes a mistake as he was trying to battle back. There it is, Team Germany. They're proud of their rider. Ken Roxson has just taken the lead.
Dean Ferris still holding on to 3rd place. Tommy Searle 4th, and now the world champ, defending world champ MX2 5-time Antonio Cairoi making his way up to 5th, followed by the Belgian Van Hoorbeek. Let's take a look at this replay, Jeff.
The replay, the pass for the lead, and Roxson's able to triple up to the top. Gouillard goes for that inside, charges, makes the mistake. Roxson is clear. some more riders. Borbashev in the pits.
Again, just like yesterday, tough break for the Russians. They actually had a very solid team.
Lots more racing to come here. Stay with us on the CBS Sports Network for the coverage of the 2013 Motocross of Nations. Race 1 underway, Team USA, lots of work to do. Welcome back to Teutschenthal, Germany. The 2013 Motocross of Nations, Race 1 is underway. You're taking a look at the Italian rider, Antonio Cairoi, just in front of him in the yellow and green. That's the Australian rider. Dean Ferris in the MX2 division has been outstanding all weekend long. But number 2, riding for Germany, Kim Roczen, out front at his home race. He is the host. He grew up not far from here, leading Race 1. And Germany is the returning champions for the first time ever 1 year ago.
Well, this couldn't be going better for them other than his teammate needs, remember folks, we need 5 scores here. So Roxson doing his part. He's going to need, obviously, his teammate in the MX1 class, Max Nagel, who is currently in 17th place. That is not going to bode well for the overall score. So, like I said, a lot of laps still to come, but you know Roxson's fired up on that 250F leading the way, Jeff. Talk about the pressure of being that team rider and having the extra pressure like we talked about yesterday. Yourself a 6-time rider in this race. How does it feel to not want to mess up so much as doing good?
There's a lot of pressure to perform at a very high level, and we've got both of our American riders in the screen, Dungey 7, Tomac 8. You have to ride at this high level, but it's not just you. You ride for a team. So of the six scores, you throw away the worst score. Okay, so there's one out there if you have a bad race. But you have to ride, you have to be so focused on the event, and you're not just racing to be the top in your division. The way that the scoring goes is if you're number 1 in your class, in your division, but you're, let's say, 5th on the track, you get scored with a 5.
That's right. They used to do it for a first position. So Ferris would be in 2nd right now behind Roxson, but he's going to get a 3 for 3rd on the track. That's
when they used to score it by class, a low score would win of an 8 or a 9. Now the over-under in the last 4 or 5 years, Paul, right around 20.
20 points will get it done. If anything less than that is going to be a stellar day. It's been 20, 21, 23 for the U.S., 23 for Germany last year, I believe. So that is going to get it done, folks. And that, keep in mind, a 2-3, a 5, a 4 by Barsha, let's say, can get it done. And here we see Cairoi coming over. Take it, Jeff.
Antonio Cairoi, fastest rider on the track. He's all the way up to 3rd. He is your reigning champion in the MX1 division on the 450s. Ferris having an outstanding ride for Australia. He sets in 2nd, but Cairoi, his speed all weekend, especially when it comes race time, he really seems to focus, and he can turn some fast laps.
And there he is, and apparently we lost Goodyard, who's back to 4th now, so this is the battle for 2nd and 3rd. You're right, Jeff, and there goes Cairoi putting the pressure on him now. Cairoi put in a dominating performance at last year's Motocross of Nation, winning the MX1 class, both motos outright. You know he doesn't want to see Roxson get a win here in front of his hometown crowd on a 250. He's the 7-time world champ for a reason.
Dean Ferris holding 2nd. Ken Roxson in the MX2 division along with Ferris. About a 4.5-second lead, not even in the screen there. So Roxson really is focused. And I spoke with Roxson many a times this weekend, asked him if he's feeling the pressure of this event basically being in his backyard. He said, no, I'm feeling great. And Cairoi takes 2nd away from Ferris. That's going to give Italy a 2. Taking a look here as we're 17 minutes plus 2 laps away from the finish of this moto.
Dungey and Tomac up to 8th and 10th now.
That 3rd combined with Cairoi's teammate
Nagel. Nagel's 11th. Excuse me. I'm sorry, Philip. It should be.
Cairoi's teammate is Lupino.
Lupino in the MX2 class in this one. You're right.
Here's a replay of that pass just around the outside. Cairoi really worked for it. You notice him making a little bit of mistakes. The team cheering him on right now. But in the team classifications, as they run, Cairoi with a 2nd, along with Lupino's 11th, has Italy on top, Australia 2nd, Germany, Belgium, USA now has made a move, currently running 8th and 9th, or up to 4th overall in the combined 2 scores. Lots of racing left.
Lupino, the MX2 rider for Italy, you're right, had a great ride yesterday. We talked about the 3rd rider for all these teams. It was Ulrich for Germany, who was figured to be the weak link, like Marcus Schiffer last year, who put in a great ride. Unheralded 7th place, basically gave them the win. Well, Ulrich came through in qualifying yesterday. Obviously, Todd Waters from Australia came through with a solid 4th yesterday. And Lupino had a great ride in qualifying for Italy as well yesterday. Van Horbeek on the MX2 for Belgium. All of these riders looking very solid right now.
And what a proud moment it must be for Max Nagel here. The German rider, team manager is actually his father. He gets to ride with the #1 plate, the reigning champion, and they come to their home country is the host of this event. But he's got his work cut out for him because he currently is only running in 16th position.
Now that's Tommy Searle riding for Great Britain, getting up on Dean Ferris now. That 250F is only going to carry him so far. Searle had a great ride yesterday as well, and looks like he's going to make the move.
Searle to the inside, takes the spot away. That's going to give Great Britain a 3rd.
Van Horbeck up to 6th now on the 250F as well. And as you mentioned, having that big #1 plate here in Germany on the hometown soil, that's got to be something else for those guys. The first time in the 67-year history of this event that they've won.
Tommy Searle comes across the line now in 3rd. He's currently showing his teammate in the MX2 division, Jake Nichols, back in 19th. Jake has outstanding stamina. I look for him to work his way through the pack.
Nagel not doing the hometown crowd any favors in 16th. He really is a guy that could typically contend with Cairoi and DeSalle and all the front runners, DeJiker and those guys in the MX1 class. Right now, Myerd back in 16th. We don't know what's happening back there, but he's got a few 250s ahead of him. Meanwhile, Brett Metcalf for Australia up to 13th place as well.
Yeah, and Paul, you see this great look here at this race facility in Teutschenthal. There's been this amount of fans since about 6 or 7 in the morning. It's literally been standing room only for qualifying practice, warm up, the B final. It really is an outstanding event, and Ustream puts on a fantastic show here. And the crowd, they're just so motivated. They're pulling for the riders from their country. It just has an energy like no other because of that.
That's right. Unlike anything you've ever been to, do yourself a favor. We're really pumped to be able to bring this to you on CBS Sports Network. We're having a blast here in Teutschenthal, Germany for the Motocross of Nations. Great racing so far and lots more to come still, Jeff.
Take a look at how the scores are. Italy's leading, Germany, Belgium, Australia, Team USA. On the racetrack, though, it's the German rider, Kim Roczen, still with the lead, followed by the world champion, Antonio Cairoli in 2nd, and the British rider, Tommy Searle, rounding out your top 3. Stay with us. Still lots of racing coming from Germany here on the CBS Sports Network. Welcome back to the 2013 Monster Energy FIM Motocross of Nations. We are a little past the halfway point here in race 1. MX1 division paired with the MX2 division. Of course, the Motocross of Nations, 3-rider team, 3 motos. Each rider races 2 motos for a total of 6 scores. Each team drops their worst result. Team with the lowest 5 scores wins the Chamberlain Cup. It's crowned Motocross of Nations champion.
And you just really can't afford to have a bad moto with this type of talent out there.
Well, you get to throw away the 1 moto, but certainly the pressure is on, and the pressure's on right there. We got a good look of number 8, the American rider Eli Tomac. Currently has gone past his teammate Ryan Dungey, who'll be riding bike number 7. Tomac up to 7th, really putting on the charge. Cairoli here 13, riding for Team Italy. He sets in 2nd.
Now, let's talk about Dungey. On and off throughout the weekend, we both talked to him, and it seems like he feels like he has a lot of pressure on his shoulders. And to me, yesterday, basically getting beat straight up by Brett Metcalf is not something we're used to seeing out of Dungey. And I feel like he wants to carry the weight of this team, but he's such a fabulous rider. I don't think that he's given himself enough credit for what he can do. And obviously, Eli Tomac has had a fabulous season at home as well, and now he's ahead of his teammate. We didn't see what happened off camera maybe, but at the moment, both of them on their way, climbing through the field. Don't panic at home. Lots of laps left. Consistency is key. Right now, we're far from out of this thing.
Well, for Team USA, unfortunately, I've been part of a losing team, and up until last year, Dungey had been the part of Team USA that had won 7 in a row. And last year in Belgium, Team USA failed to win. Dungey seems to have came here with a real agenda, that he definitely is focused. I wouldn't say that he's been tense, but definitely he's cut out a lot of the distractions, and he definitely wants to lead Team USA and be a part of the equation to bring home that Chamberlain Cup once again. Team USA, of course, has won the Chamberlain Cup 22 times. Next in line is Great Britain with 16 wins, and Belgium, who has a really good shot here today, they have 14 total.
Yeah, and speaking of Great Britain, who won, their last win came by way of our first defeat after 13 straight years for Team USA. A bitter pill for you, Jeff. You were part of that team in '94, Rodenburg, Sweden, when they handed Team USA their first loss. Talk about what that was like, what Dungey must have been feeling.
I'm not going there. Well, right here, we're taking a look at Lupino. He's the Italian rider. He's just behind the 52 of Lingard. These two riders, Lingard's 12th, Lupino up to 13th. They're followed by the French rider, Jordi Tixier, in 17th.
Tixier on the move, the 250F rider for France, really looking solid yesterday, and there he goes past Lingard.
No, that's past Lupino. Lupino got the
Lupino,
inside, and that inside line, Paul, is good, but it seems like it's got a big kicker coming out of it. Yeah. Remember, that was Goulart.
Goulart got caught up in that after Cairoi went by him, or Roczen, excuse me.
Look how difficult the track is. This is race 1 of 3. We've already had warm-ups, a B final where the top team who won that qualified for the final spot here into the main races. Track's going to be difficult. It's not getting any easier, but definitely the lines are in place and these riders are warmed up. There's so much competition all the way through this field. I mean, riders like Nichols, Bertrand, and Koldenhoff are rounding out your top 20.
This is what we talked about. 8 of the top 10 in the final points in the MX2 class on the 250Fs. These guys are out here battling 450s like Lingard. And basically this track, like you said, is getting so rough. I read a little bit online last night, some guys saying that it was one line. I don't think this is one line, Jeff. The fastest guys are going to find the way, just as we saw Cairoi working some of the insides, very Dungey-esque yesterday. Some of those insides not working today, as we talked about also. Some of those lines will go away mid-moto, maybe come back and be a better line at the end of the moto than they were to begin with.
Yeah, it only seems to be one line.
And here we see Ferris.
If you're not as fast as the rider in front of you.
Tomac
you
going
see
to
right
work
here,
on Ferris now.
Tomac really starting to make the moves right now on Dean Ferris. That's going to put Tomac up to 5th already. He is really on a charge. Dean Ferris currently holding 4th. Tomac fitness has been one of the key parts of his success. And this American rider out of Colorado, this is his first Motocross of Nations ever. Now we have seen Eli Tomac, the American champion in the 250 class, really starting to come alive.
Finished 4th yesterday in his qualifier from behind, working the bad gate pick from the lottery type system that we talked about for the gate pick yesterday. Today's gate pick based on qualifying, so a little bit better for Team USA, but they still didn't manage to get a very good start.
See Kevin Crowther there in the middle. He's the representative for the American Motorcyclist Association. He's the man that in the event of a Team USA victory, he'll get to hand carry that Chamberlain Cup back to Ohio, back to the American Motorcyclist Association, where it will be on display. But 7-year win streak for Team USA was ended last year. This team is very motivated to get that back.
And there goes Tomac up the inside.
Ferris is on the rear wheel, but Tomac's going to take control of it. So this is definitely going to change the scoring. Tomac, last time around, had a 142. This last lap was a 143, even with that pass. So the Americans, Eli Tomac in the MX2, runs in the 4th division. Ryan Dungey now up to 8th.
That's looking good for us. And trust me back home, folks, if you've never heard of Dean Ferris, you will soon enough. Trust me, like I said, picked up his first win, given Jeffrey Hurlings was out that event, but he did pick up a win this year in GPs, and he looked absolutely fabulous yesterday all day long. He is the real deal. That was no easy pass for Tomac.
Okay, the battle for the lead in the race starting to tighten up. Ken Roxson from Germany leading the MX2 division. He's on a 250cc 4-stroke. Your world champion in the MX1 on the 450. Antonio Cairoi out of Italy now closing up.
Could we script this any better?
MX1. This is
what we wanted to see.
competition.
Somewhere Giuseppe's smiling. You've got the MX2 3-time winner in Ken Roxson being challenged by the 7-time world champion Antonio Cairoi for Italy. 1 and 2, a 250 versus a 450. Unbelievable.
Roxon's pace has dropped just a little bit. Not sure if it was lap riders. His best lap was a 143. Last was a 145. Cairoi 144. You can see this is really starting to tighten up. Paul, where's the passing spots on this track?
Well, as we saw yesterday, that one that Goodyear tried was the outside yesterday. Now it was the inside, but it's got that big kicker after it. This sweeper right before the mechanics area seems to be a good place to get it done, too. We see Tomac up to 4th now, Ferris 5th, Van Horbeck on the 250 in 6th. Dungey is 8th now, and we are closing in on 6 minutes to go in the moto.
6 minutes to go. Roxon's your leader. No, he's just passed by the Italian Cairoi. Stay with us. All the action from the Motocross of Nations still to come. Welcome back to Teutschenthal, Germany, where the MX1 world champion Antonio Cairoi, riding for Team Italy, has just stolen the lead from the hometown boy Ken Roxson, their number 2, riding for Team Germany. The American team riders, Eli Tomac in the MX2 division is now up to 4th. His teammate Dungey up to 8th. Take a look at what happened. Oh, Roxson misses a shift there in the final turn. That allows Cairoi an easy pass around the outside.
Yeah, and you know he wanted to get that done and get it over with because you know Roxson was going to put up a heck of a fight on that 250F blocking the lines, but that made it easy for Tony.
Yeah, and we also seen the Italian team manager, former racer here in the MX of Nations, Tomac Traversini, clapping his hands. His riders out front leading race 1, which is a combined race between the MX1 division and the MX2 division. 5 minutes plus 2 laps still to go. America running 4th and 8th. This is a team competition. This top 5 scores out of 6 count. And as we take a look at Dungey right there, number 7, combined scores together, Eli's 4th and Dungey's 8th.
Just
puts
like
them
that.
at the top of the competition with Germany with a 1st and a 13th, running 2nd Belgium, 6th and 8th currently as they run, rounding out your top 3.
Well, and this is what I was talking about, Jeff. The folks at home probably going, how are we winning this thing with an 8-4? That's the Motocross of Nations, folks. I didn't want to panic. I don't want to throw any impacts yet. Like I said, an 8-4 isn't what we expected out of our boys. But right now, we're on top with 12 points. Germany 2nd with 15. So that's the way the Motocross of Nations works. It's about consistency and not doing anything bad so much as riding good. Jeff, you want to ride your potential, but here you go.
Yeah, and look at this. Eli Tomac has just stolen 3rd place from the rider from Great Britain, Tommy Searles, number 22.
Look at Tommy up the inside.
Hard charge. Tomac makes the pass stick. So now Team USA up to 3rd with Eli Tomac. Dungey still currently running in 8th.
This is why I liked Eli Tomac for that MX2 spot. Anybody that can contest that obviously is crazy. This shows 12 points. I think that drops us to 11 actually, and Dungey's not done yet either. By the time this moto's over, we're going to have a great score hopefully before this moto wraps up. Anything going on, you see Jeff Canfield there looking a lot of Team USA always has a big entourage cheering our boys on and helping them for everything they need.
After yesterday's qualifying events, Team Australia, led by Brett Metcalf, really seem to be the favorites. Metcalf currently in 11th. His teammate in this race is Dean Ferris. He's in 5th. So in the overall classifications, things have switched up a little bit points-wise. USA, Germany, Belgium, Italy, and Australia with 16 is our 5th to the United States 12th.
A lot of racing still to go. Don't get too excited yet. As we talked about, there's so many things that can happen. We still have 2 more complete motos. 5 of the 6, as you mentioned, Jeff. So right now, nothing drastic happening. Every team seems to be doing what they're supposed to be doing, except Australia. Unfortunately, Dean Ferris, who impressed us so much yesterday, gone back to 5th now. Van Horbeek for Belgium up to 6th. Gautier Paulin 7th for Team France. Ryan Dungey up to 8th now, and making some moves, trying to get us up for even further. And the amazing thing, people at home wanted to see, what could Eli Tomac do against Villopoto and Dungey? We saw some lap times where he was outright fastest at some of the nationals near the end of the season. Well, we're getting it answered right here. This is why Eli Tomac is such a solid part of this team, and for me, could be the reason why we take home the Chamberlain Cup at the end of the day today.
Well, it certainly was 1 year ago with Ken Roxon's dominance in the MX2 division. Tomac, though, has been very cautious all weekend long, and now you see the type of effort that the rider from Colorado is putting out for Team USA, and he has caught the early race leader, Ken Roxson. Remember, in the Motocross Championship in the United States, these 2 riders went head-to-head.
In Supercross,
at the end of the championship, Tomac came out on top in Motocross, Roxson in Supercross. Now here they are at the 67th running of the Monster Energy FIM Motocross of Nations, and once again, these riders are wheel-to-wheel. Tomac really starting to apply the pressure to Roxson.
Did I say we couldn't have scripted it any better? We've got this great rivalry here between Roxson and Tomac. Oh my goodness. Tomac is down hard. That was ugly. Looks like he's okay running back to his bike. This is what we talked about, Jeff. This is where he has to regroup. You don't know if this score is going to count or not. He could get up and get a 15th still. He needs to get going. Hopefully he's okay. That was an ugly, ugly crash for Eli Tomac. He can't take any outside assistance. That's why he's waving at the fans. He can get disqualified for that.
Okay, let's see. It appears that physically he's all right. He came flying off the bike. Watch this replay. Oh, he hits a kicker at the top. Goes to scrub it.
I'm speechless.
Looks like it was a pretty easy landing.
Yep.
Okay, he gets back up here. The biggest difficulty was him getting the bike going. Now, let's go back to the format of this event. You have 6 scores, 3 riders, each ride 2 races. There, you get to throw away your worst score. Certainly this, after what was going to appear to be Team USA's best score, now he's fallen way back, so this possibly could be the throwaway.
But don't
so
forget,
what that does is it puts the pressure on every moto.
That's right.
Every score after this is going to have to count if America's going to bring home
But I guarantee,
the title.
and you're absolutely right, Jeff, I guarantee you one thing. Obviously, Dungey moved up a position because of that crash. That helped us a little bit and hurt us at the same time. But I guarantee you, Roger and the team is telling Eli, you must finish the race. That's a no-brainer. He's a racer. He wants to finish. However, God forbid we have a mechanical later, we might need his 15th or whatever he works his way up to. I've seen the nations won with scores like that, a 1-2, a 3 and a 5 maybe, whatever the case may be, and you need that 12th place to get it done because we have a mechanical failure later, God forbid. I've already jinxed this once, I'm not going to say it again. I think we're still in good shape.
Countdown clocks to 0. 2 laps left to go here in race 1 of the 67th running of the Monster Energy FIM Motocross of Nations. Stay tuned to see the final conclusion of this race 1. Welcome back to Germany for the CBS Sports Network coverage of the Monster Energy FIM Motocross of Nations. Team USA, Eli Tomac had moved up to 3rd place, had a massive crash, still trying to find him 18th on the timing and scoring. Taking a look at his teammate,
A devastating
Ryan
blow to
Dungey
Team USA.
is in 7th as they come by with the 2-lap board out.
Working on the 250 MX2 rider of Jeremy Van Horbeck for Belgium. Gautier Paulin would be next ahead of him if he can get up there. A little too late for Ryan Dungey, it seems.
And Paul, how this has changed up the nation's classifications. Now you have Germany on top with 13, Australia, Belgium, Italy, France. Team USA
not even in the top five. But
5.
trust me when I tell you, and you know this as well as I do, Jeff, and the folks at home, once again, don't panic. We've seen it when it goes to the 3rd moto, as you see Van Horbeck, Dungey trying to make his way around Van Horbeck for 5th there, 6th. It's going to take a math scientist to figure out these scores. I promise you, we're not out of this thing yet, far from it.
As Dungey works on Jeremy Van Horbeck, rider from Belgium.
Dropping down to the MX2 class after making his debut in MX1 this year as a rookie. Having some top 10s, not a great season after getting 2nd to Hurlings in the MX2 class.
Belgium, always a strong contender here in the Motocross of Nations, but their last win was in Lierop in the Netherlands in 2004. So it's been a long gap for the team that has won this event 14 times. Van Horbeck putting in an outstanding ride to have his team up in the 6th position.
And the key to Belgium, Jeff, is every year they have 3 solid riders. We talk about so many great rides like Roxson. All these teams, they have 1 or 2 good riders, like a Cairoi. They never seem to have that 3rd good rider. Ken de Jager up to 8th place, his teammate for Belgium. So Van Horbeck and de Jager, 6th and 8th. Not a bad start. They're always consistent. Belgium seemingly always on the podium, 2nd or 3rd if they're not winning this event.
Antonio Cairoi of Italy has already taken the white flag. He's got a 7-second lead over Ken Roczen, Tommy Searle, Dean Ferris, Gautier Paulin from France. Rounding out your top 5, the riders in your screen there, that's Dean Ferris, the number 29. Riding for Team Australia, they shocked everyone yesterday by qualifying first. 3 outstanding scores for their riders.
Todd Waters, who was apparently the weakest link, quote unquote, comes to a 4th in the MX3 class, so they are the real deal, no question about it.
Yeah. Track starting to get chewed up. This looks like Ryan Dungey here, number 7, riding the KTM for Team USA. He's been on a winning team many times.
There he goes,
He
Jeff,
was on a losing team last year. He is motivated. He is focused, trying to get this championship back. Jeremy Van Horbeck blocking all the lines here. Dungey, and you would think that these insides would be the shortest way around, but the ruts are so deep. This track is so challenging. We are only in Moto 1 of 3. 30-minute plus 2-lap races here today.
Well, and by the end of the day, because of these ruts, Jeff, it could get more one line. We're seeing it right here. This is a 250 versus a 450. Ryan Dungey not able to work some of his inside magic as we've seen him do in the past. Trying to go to work on Van Horbeck there on the 250, not able to get it done. Here's Cairoi.
Here's your leader from Italy, MX1 world champion, multi-time champion. This guy's amazing on a motorcycle. He's riding KTM, leading Italy here, coming around to win race 1. here of the 2013 Motocross of Nations. It's Italy with Tony Cairoi, no surprise, taking the checkered flag. As they come across, it's Ken Roczen for Germany in second. Tommy Searle rounding out your top three, 10 seconds off. Ferris, outstanding ride in fourth. Gauthier Paulin for France, rounding out your top five.
And Dungey able to get around Van Horbeck out of our sight there. He's going to claim sixth, so that's going to help us out that little bit much more. And on the last lap, Tomac was up still in 18th. Let's see where he crosses the line at. I don't know if Cairoi lapped that far down. We can't tell on the transponders here. Give him a moment to get across.
Team USA, it looks like.
We see Metcalf there coming across.
Dungey, Van Horbeek, De Dijker, Gouillard, Metcalf for Australia with a 10th, paired with his teammate Dean Ferris in a 4th.
Nagel, number 1 for Germany, is a teammate with a 2 and a 11 for Nagel. So Germany with 13 points, it looks like. And we still haven't seen Tomac come by. He's got to be close behind those guys somewhere there. There he is.
Wow, what a difficult race after Tomac had put in such a strong ride. Had worked himself up into 16th. The top three. Trying to work on Roxson for second.
I really hope it's not the case, but trust me, that 16th, we might need that in our back pocket later in the day. I hope that was our one throwaway score because he was riding simply amazing up to that point. That looked like a combination of a Trey Kennard scrub and then a Chad Reed launch over that jump. That was a scary crash.
Now, Paul, we knew that this was going to be competitive, especially for Team USA, but outstanding rides by a number of riders. You see Cairoi here, the Italian, taking the win. You're looking at the nation's classifications. When we take a look at those, Germany on top with a 2nd and an 11th. Italy, Australia sets in 3rd. And it's Team USA currently setting in 7th with the 6th out of Dungey and a 16th out of Eli Tomac. Such a surprise. So much drama here in this first of 3 races from Teutschenthal, Germany.
And as we move into the second moto of the day later on, race 2 is going to be the MX2 class, so Tomac is going to be up again. He's going to join us here in the booth during the 3rd moto, hopefully, provided things keep going well and he didn't get banged up in that crash. But MX2 versus the open class is going to be Moto 2, and we'll see those scores jump around a lot. There's your
taking your Foxhole Shot Award, Valentin Gouillard. Presenting it, Matthew Basile from Foxhead, Europe.
What a standout performance for Gouillard here at the Motocross of Nations.
Well, we're just getting started. That's one down, 2 to go.
Well, we knew the B final was exciting, so we figured the first moto would be exciting, but not like that. That was unbelievable action from here in Germany, Jeff.
And in the points classifications, it's so close right now between 13, 14, two teams tied at 14th.
When you start
that's a great way to start it.
Right, yeah.
We've got race number 2 coming up, which will be the MX2 in the open class, coming up here on the CBS Sports Network in the 2013 Monster Energy FIM Motocross of Nations.